Hey everyone, and welcome back. I've learned 5 guitar solos in the past 3 or 4 days, a record for me, I think. One of them I already knew, but I had forgotten most of it, so I had to relearn it. None, however, were difficult in the extreme, so it actually wasn't so bad putting them all together for this little list. My number 1 was rather difficult and gave me a few headaches here and there, but we got her done eventually. Regardless, today we're going to have a look at my top 5 greatest power ballad guitar solos of the 80s and 90s. A time for some of these shredders from that era to put their hair up and show some emotion and put some feely feels into their playing. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I did a list video of my top 20 power ballads of the 80s and 90s, a genre that I tend to have a soft spot for. And you can check it out down below in the description box if you like. And within that video, I apologized for making a video that was all talk and no action, as the bulk of my channel is pretty much guitar driven. So I thought that I would rectify that situation, do a little playing in this one, and learn a few of my favorite power ballad solos and throw together a new but shorter list. I will not be learning 20 guitar solos for one video. So without further ado, let's get at this. My top 5 favorite power ballad guitar solos of all time. My number 5 is likely the least known guitarist on this list, from a band that I liked a heck of a lot back in the 80s and 90s. This guy was heavily influenced by Jimmy Page of Led Zeppelin in his playing, and one can definitely hear that influence in this solo. A solo that really kicks this ballad into another gear and fits the tone and build-up of this song beautifully. Just a fantastically crafted guitar solo with no crazy tricks involved, just some great classic hard rock blues guitar licks. So let's have a look at my number 5. My number 4 needs little introduction. It's arguably the most famous guitar solo on this list and is a perennial space holder on any list of the greatest guitar solos of all time. Not a huge fan of this song in particular, but there's little doubt that it's a great melodic solo and needed to be here. A good intermediate level solo for any of you budding soloists out there. For you to learn when trying to get those string bends mastered under your fingers by one of the absolute great soloists of our generation when it comes to, that blues-based hard rock style of guitar playing and soloing. So let's have a look at who that is, and let's have a look at my number 4. My number 3 is one of the heavier solos on my list by a band that could barely be restrained by their metal roots even while doing a power ballad. One doesn't generally hear a whole lot of whammy bar dive bombs in a ballad solo, but this one has them. This guy, again, like my number 5, is hardly a household name these days, but he put down just a killer, memorable, and melodic hard rock ballad solo with this one that is a definite highlight of the song in which it's contained, at least in my opinion. Let's have a look at what that solo is as my number 3. My number 2 greatest power ballad solo is by one of the greatest hard rock metal guitar players of all time, who sadly is no longer with us. Known more for his classically infused, inventive, and lightning fast style of play, he slowed things down a bit with this one and left us with one of his most beloved and recognizable solos. Let's have a look at my number 2. My number 1 greatest power ballad solo might surprise you just a little bit, as this song was never a hit in any way and not nearly as well known as all the others. Though with that said, in guitar circles, this solo is very well known, admired, and covered. But the song itself is a power ballad, so it fits that profile, and it's a damn good power ballad with one of this generation's greatest and most influential guitar players. He put down just a gorgeous and melodic solo here with a few flourishes of his trademark speed here and there thrown in for good measure to create what would become one of his most famous and well-known solos. So let's check out who I'm talking about at number 1. All right, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I certainly hope you enjoyed that little walk down power ballad guitar solo memory lane with me. Hope I played them all right with just a few days practice for the whole lot of them. Appreciate a subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit that little notification bell so you'll know when I release something new. I hope you're all well in your little guitar corners and bedrooms of the world, and we will see you next time. Cheers.